Hey guys, Kyle here with another video for the YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top places to get data for your business, whether you're cold emailing, cold calling, you're sending mailers, you're doing ads. These are the top places to get data for your business. So we're going to hop into the first one, which is first party data. So first party data is essentially data you collect. So through meeting forms, whether that's, you're booking calls like Calendly forms, gated content. This could be lead magnets, or people on Instagram are like, hey, do you get this free resource? And then you click on the link and you have to put in your information. That's gated content. Website visitors. So this isn't GA4. This isn't Google Analytics I'm talking about. This is you use tools like Vector, RB2B. And essentially what this does is when someone goes on your website, typically without these tools, in Google Analytics, all you see is how old they are, what's their gender, where are they from, but you don't know their name, or you don't know if they work for a company. You don't know anything else about them, right? So what using RB2B or Vector or Instantly, and you put that tag in the back of your website, it's going to tell you each person that comes on your website. It's going to tell you their LinkedIn URL. It's going to tell you their name. It's going to tell you the company they work for, the position they are in that company, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, sometimes it doesn't have that information, but it'll give you everything they have on them through a process. I think it's called reverse IP address lookup. So to look up the IP address of the person and then reverse it and track it back to them somehow. But yeah, it's pretty crazy shit. Next one is LinkedIn data. So you could use tools like Trigify or Teamfluence, and you could essentially take all your connections, likes, comments, profile visits, and send that data to Clay through a webhook. And then you could take that data, you could score it against your ideal customer persona, because not every single person that goes on your LinkedIn or your friends with will actually be a good customer, right? So the first process is enriching it a little bit, and then scoring it to see if they actually match your ideal customer persona. And then if they do, further enriching them and then creating that personalized cold email message. So that's LinkedIn data. The next one's email list. People have their email, like e-commerce businesses, right? They have their email list or like newsletters, right? That's what I'm talking about here. Your warm email list of people who subscribe to it, right? Or bought something from you and they got added to it automatically. So email list, you could use that. CRM data, right? This is data you already have in your CRM, on your prospects or your leads, right? This is data you collected. Product usage, so you can track product usage, just as things like there's different softwares out there that could basically track how much someone is using your product. So if they're using it like a lot, right, that could be a signal to cold email them or cold call them or put an ad on them to buy the next upsell, right? Or if you see product usage going down, you probably know they're going to churn. So you could do different strategies based on that, right? And then there's champion tracking, and then there's webinar events and registrations. So any webinars you collect data through that so they sign up. Or if you have an event that people come to, they have to give you their email, stuff like that, right? And then you have demo/trial requests. So anyone that wants a demo or a trial request of your service or product, that you collect data through that. Now, these are really two important ones that people don't really think about is support interactions. So when people, tap in that chat bot, they're asking for support and stuff like that. You want to collect their info, and you could also use that for remarketing or upsells. Survey/feedback responses. So if you send out surveys or if you have survey, forms that pop up on your website or wherever you put them, right? This is good data to reuse back in your marketing again. Now, second party data. So this is data that is essentially, think of this as like partnership data. Okay. So this could be a partner CRM data. So you could have like other companies you work with. Let's say like you are American Airlines, right? You might partner with like a hotel chain like Marriott to get their data. So you guys could partner together, right? Because you guys are kind of in the same industry, but you're not really competing on the same things. So you guys have data on similar customers. People who are going to hotels or traveling, they're probably going to fly. People who are going to fly are probably going to need a hotel. So you could partner with CRM data for marketing campaigns, or this could be different companies you own. You could also use that data in your company. So that's second party data, right? Co-marketing campaign list. This is if you're doing marketing campaigns with other companies. You could partner with them on that campaign list, get their data for your also campaign. They get your data for their campaign, however you want to do it. And then industry association databases. So if you're part of like your local chamber of commerce or whatever, they sometimes give you access to their database. So that, there's obviously they have to give you permission for that, but that would be considered second party data. Okay, lastly, third party data. This is what people use a lot in cold outreach, but there's a lot of different types they aren't using. So the key here is to really use every single one of these and utilize them all. Okay. Now, what I've seen typically, as I go back real quick, is your first party data is going to be your best data. You're going to get the highest response rates. Second party data is going to be your second best. Third party data is going to be your third best. Now, they all can still work great, but that's kind of like the order I see positive reply rates at. So third party data, B2B databases like Apollo, Clay, Instantly, a lot of people use these. And there's over 300 million contacts in each one of them. Also, maybe LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, you throw it on there. These are great. I use these a lot. This is a great way to just scrape your whole total addressable market and have an evergreen campaign where you're hitting them up every single 3 months. So that's good. You always want to be using those. And then lookalike audiences. So this is great for if you have great clients or if you're getting a lot of leads that are great leads. If you're getting a lot of meetings, right? We want more of those types of people. So we can do a lookalike search with tools like Ocean.io, and we could find more lookalikes. So basically, we just get more of those type of people, if that makes sense. Okay, competitor social media accounts. So there's tools like Triggerfy and Teamfluence where essentially you can scrape your competitors' connections and engagement, stuff like that. And you can send that data to Clay, score it, send them a cold email. So basically, this is a way to steal your competitors' social media engagement or, connections. Like if they're in the same market, right? Those people are probably looking for what you're also doing. You could scrape it and then start sending cold emails to them. Okay, technographic data. So this is like what technologies is your prospects using. So if you, for example, if I scrape a bunch of doctors, I could do a technographic enrichment to figure out what technologies they have on their website or what CRMs they're using, right? Because if, let's say, for example, if something I'm selling only works with HubSpot, I want to make sure I'm only reaching out to people who are using HubSpot, right? So technographic data is important, but you don't always need it. It just kind of depends on, what your objective is and who you're reaching out to. And then there's email finders and email validators, right? That's third-party data that you're buying to validate your lead list, to enrich the emails, and also find emails for people that you don't have emails for. Okay, and then your search trends. So this is like SEMrush, Ahrefs, right? Search trends based on like whoever you're targeting, right? So you could find website data on your prospects. You can see how much web traffic they're getting a month. So you can score that, right? If you only want to work with people who have over 20,000 website visitors a month, or let's say they have less than 1,000, right? If you're selling an SEO service, if someone has less than 1,000 monthly website visitors, their SEO most likely sucks, right? So that would be an example of using like search trends and search data from SEMrush or Ahrefs. Job opening data. So this is like, essentially, you can see how much a company is growing, but let's say like we're looking for contractors who are hiring marketing roles, right? Those would be good opportunities for marketing agencies to pitch them because that employee that they're going to want to hire is probably going to be at least $5,000 to, $7,000 a month in, paychecks they're going to pay out. So like you could target those people and they could pay you a third of that, and you could do the same thing for them, right? So that's a good value adding opportunity. for them, right? So I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. Like, you want to find job openings that your service fulfills and that you could give them a good deal on it, but also you're winning too at the same time, if that makes sense. But you could also use this as like a signal, right? So if a company has like 10, 20 job openings, you know they're growing. So, you know they have money to buy whatever service you want. You can do this. You can do whatever you want, get creative with it. The whole goal of like outreach is just to get creative with it. You don't want to do what everyone else is doing, because then you'll just get the same results as everybody else. The way you really make money in cold email is just doing something different, right? Getting creative with it. Okay, next one is review sites. So you can scrape sites like Trustpilot, G2, I think it's called Capterra. You can scrape all these sites, or really any review site. You know, it could be Yelp, Google Business Profiles, Angie List, Home Advisor, BBB. Yeah, you can scrape all those for basically, let's say for example, I want to hire contractors who, I want to get more contractor clients from my marketing agency. I want to do ads for them. I would look at competitors, right, of mine who are also trying to get, contractors, and I would look for negative reviews on their page, because that means they have people who weren't happy with them, and I could reach out to those people that weren't happy and didn't get their problem solved yet, and I could reach out to them and say, hey, I can solve your problem, and you can pitch them however you want, right? So those are people, an easy way to find people who aren't happy, or if I guess you want to be ruthless, you can steal your competitors' clients with a better offer. And then you have public records and government data. I don't really use too much of that, but I just want to throw that in there. A lot of people use this for like real estate wholesaling. Like, you could look up evictions, you could look up bankruptcy, you could look up divorce records, you could look up foreclosure records. It could get really nasty, but you could technically scrape that data and use it for your ads, email outreach. There's probably certain laws, so be careful, right? Don't sue me. I'm not saying, I don't know everything right here, right? But you could, you could use that for definitely some good stuff. And then events and conference attendee list. So some people sell their event data. So if there's a big event or a big webinar, some people might sell that data to other people who want to buy that, right? Then there's intent signals. So this could be things like, a company. So basically, you take your whole data, you take all your whole market or part of your market, and you track intent signals on it. So this is not something you click a button and you get these signals right away. This is more something you set up, and then when the signals come in, they come in like randomly, right? As the signals are happening, you're getting the data. So you don't just buy this data, you set it up. So when the signals happen, you collect it, and you can use that for ads, cold emailing, outreach, whatever you want to do, right? And these signals can be, let's say you have 10,000 contractors, or 10,000 SaaS companies. If a new patent's filed, if there's a merger, if there's a bankruptcy, if the headcount's going down, if they have 10 job openings that just opened up, there's over 300, I think 400 intent signals that you could track. So I would look up the list of them. Just look up Clay intent signals. I might make a video on this if you guys want this. There's like 300 to 400 different intent signals. And they're, depending on what you want to do, there's pretty much an intent signal for everything. A merger, company going IPO, a company raising a new round, a whole bunch of stuff. Now, lastly, there's niche data. So for example, contractors. There's a data provider called Shovels.io. This is like contractor data only. So that's a niche data site, a niche database. I think there's one called Store Leads for e-commerce. I think it's called Influencer Club for influencers, right? There's these niche data sources. So I would look up if there's any niche data sources in the industry you guys are trying to target. But yeah, that's mainly it for the video. Just make sure you guys are utilizing first, second, and third party data. First party data is the best, second party data is the second best, and third party data is lastly the third best. Now you can still get leads from all of them, but that's the order of how I see it. People might have a different opinion, but that's my opinion. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys want me to dive deeper into any of these concepts, I'd be more than happy to. Just let me know in the comments. If you guys don't want to, if you guys do want to and you don't tell me, I don't know. I'm just making videos guessing what you guys want to see. But yeah, that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think, and have a good day. Bye-bye.